that you had talked about some concerns that you were having as far as making equal amounts of time for work and home life.
Right.
Did you have some more thoughts about that? Or?
Yeah, I've been. It's kind of hard to separate my work-related time from my time at home. Uh, I cannot seem to get enough time at home separated in between the two because I don't know. It seems like I work all the time.
So you feel a little bit burdened by because you're having to work so much as far as instead of being at home.
Right. I don't know. It seems like I come home and I'm always thinking about work, even if I'm not at work. And it's kind of hard to separate the two. And I've done this for a long time, and it's just kind of hard to separate the two. And it's just been hard.
That sounds like you might be feeling a little anxiety because you're having a hard time shutting work off when you do get home and separating the two, work and home.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what seems to overlap. I don't know if it's maybe sometimes even dreaming about work when you're at home and not being able to know what's going on at work because a lot of times in the field I work in, I have to work a lot of overtime and making sure stuff's ready to go. And it's just kind of tough to separate the two in place.
So it sounds like when you are at home, you're having feeling some maybe insecurities because you don't really know what's going on at work if you're not there to supervise and see what's going on.
Right. That seems to be the problem. Maybe it's like I say, in your head, it's kind of hard to separate the two. I don't know why it is. I mean, it's just kind of hard to turn work off because even if I'm not there, something could be happening that I'm going to have to. Somebody may call me at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I have to satisfy whatever the problem is they call and talk to me about.
So it sounds like you are feeling like you're having difficulties shutting off work because you are concerned about what is going on there when you're not there.
Right.
To make sure that everything goes right.
Right.
Have you had some experiences where when you were not there, some things have happened? When you were not there to supervise? Or?
Well, sometimes, yeah, if I'm not there, maybe things don't get fixed the way they should, and it's kind of it's all hands-on type of business that I'm in, and that it's really causing this problem. And sometimes I have to go out on the job myself, even though I've got other people there that should be handling the problem. It's usually mechanical. And it's just kind of hard to sometimes break away. If they're on the job, then if I'm not there, usually stuff breaks down or something. And without somebody can call you on the phone and talk to you about these problems, but whether you can solve them over the phone is a different story. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
So it sounds like you feel like you have some trust issues, maybe with the people that you have to leave in charge when you're not there. Some concerns that if you're not able to do it, it won't get done the right way. Does that affect you as far as when you come home, trying to let that go?
Yeah, it's really kind of hard to separate. Just when you get home, you just say, okay, I'm off work. In the position I'm in, it kind of makes it hard to distinguish between the two because the time of before now in my job, I was always I go home, I turn it off, and that's it. Well, when you go into like a supervisory position and you have to take care of a lot of stuff, you're always in this predicament where I guess that you you're there. You have to be responsible all the time, and that's your job. I guess I don't know how long really what kind of deal that you turn the job off. You know, because you just can't do it. That's what I'm trying to figure out where I can maybe distinguish between the two and do a little separation there. I wouldn't know what to do. It's just that hard.
I mean, it does sound like you feel like maybe you're burdened because you're having a difficult time, finding the right balance now that you're a supervisor between, turning work off and online.
Right.
Are there any hobbies that you enjoy that you're able to engage in maybe to pull you back into kind of the home life versus work?
Yeah, I like to do a little camping and maybe some fishing and that way I'm still on call all the time, more or less. But it is kind of a stress reliever, just to get off work and just not be responsible for anything. I mean, you still are, but in other words, they always want to know day in and day out what's going on, even if I'm on vacation or anything to that.
So it sounds like at least you feel like you have a break, if you're engaging in a
Right.
hobby versus just.
Right. And I guess you could say fishing's a hobby. I mean, I like fishing, hunting, or whatever like that. And car races and and stuff like that. And sometimes you can turn it off. I could turn it off a lot easier before I took the position that I'm in now, and that was a little bit of separation there. But it's just, I don't know, it's kind of in your mind being able to turn it off. It's just kind of hard.
I mean, it sounds like you feel like you're more responsible now
Right.
because you're a supervisor than
Right.
you were before.
Right. And it makes it just makes it hard to separate the two. And I'm looking to maybe create an atmosphere that I don't have to really be, I don't know, affected by it all the time. That's what I'm looking for.
Do you think it would help to have plans in place and people in place that you could trust to do the right thing and plans in place there if something went wrong? They would have a plan to contact you.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, the people that work for me, I trust them, but I'm still responsible for them. And so it's kind of even now. I always wonder what's going on and what I'm gonna be doing on the job next week or whatever that way.
So do you feel like maybe if you put certain times in place for you to check in, that it would help? Like, do you have times that you check in to make sure that everything's going okay, so you can kind of ease your mind and
Yeah, looking at maybe my iPhone helps. It's the way I stay in contact with what people call me or whatever like that, and I always do check in when I'm here off work, whatever like that.
do you feel like that, at least gives you some kind of sense of peace to be able to check in that way and go on and engage in other activities and hobbies? So at least just checking in gives you some kind of sense of relief.
Right.